have no idea. Do you know who this man is? If you think you know, comment below, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you probably don't. This is one of the most terrible, heinous men in modern history. He puts the Catholic Church scandal to shame. He puppeteers presidents, princes, and other world leaders with ease. I'm about to expose this because many of you don't know that he is only the agent of a greater evil. An evil through time, an evil that affects you even down to the biological level. First, we have to break down who this man is before we even get that deep. Some build empires, others build nightmares. And this man, he turned innocence into currency. Trafficked souls, renting the bodies of children to the highest bidder in the system. Oh yeah, the system rewarded him. What did he get for these nightmarish crimes? A slap on the wrist. 13 months in Palm Beach with work release. The plea deal didn't only shield him, but it shielded other powerful men that walked with him down the road of evil. They called it misconduct. Let's call it predation, assault, coercion, blackmail. He didn't just control innocent bodies, he controlled people in powerful positions. All his money led back to one truth, that power protects its own. And then when he was finally captured and going to suffer from all the horrors that he has done, when the truth was finally going to come out, he was gone. August 10th, 2019. Self-inflicted, they say. But when the most well-connected man in the underworld passes under the watch of those who are supposed to guard him, we call that another secret, buried 6 feet deep. Who is this man? Did you comment below? This is Jeff Epp. Can't say the full name. But this isn't new. There's men like him throughout time. They all emerged from the same matrix. A matrix on an etymological level just means a womb. A womb is a medium or structure in which things develop in. PD files develop within this matrix. Earth is a womb, an archetypal great mother. But for every great mother, there's a great devourer. That would be civilization. Y'all were told civilization was progress. This was indeed a lie. War, cancer, plagues, slavery, PDF files, all could be said to barely exist before the arrival of civilization. And I'm going to break all of this down. If you don't want to wait, there's a book called FFFHAMS, Food, Forest, Foraging, Hunting, Anti-Fragile Modern Society. The free audiobook is in a link at the top of the page or pinned in the comments. It'll give you more than I can give you in a video. But let's continue. You have no idea what these flags really mean and why this 15 is even there. But when you know, you'll be disgusted. Can you guess in the comments below? I mean, I couldn't even believe it. But guess in the comments below. Let's see if you can get it. These flags are all the nations that set the consent age or the age of consent at 15 years old. Oh yeah, we got France on here, Poland. I mean, it gets crazy. These are all the countries that make the age of consent 14. But if you thought to stop there, I'm sorry, I'm going to disappoint you. These are all the countries with the age of consent being 13. That's Japan up there. You see the Philippines at the top? This is 12. And there is Nigeria, a country I hold dear to my heart. The age of consent, an adult, to be with is 11 years old. For family, it actually gets worse. Some of y'all are wondering how. See these flags? There is no age of consent. As long as he is married to her, then she is consenting to whatever. Doesn't matter the age. And you can look it up. People believe that civilization protects the weak. But history tells a different story. A story where innocence was never protected, only regulated, bartered, and sold. In ancient Rome, Greece, China, it meant nothing. A girl reached 12 should be property. And this wasn't barbarism. This was in the laws. Fast forward to the so-called modern world. The enlightened nations believe this is like the 19th century. It could be 10 or 12 or no consent age at all. At the time, France, 11. England, 12. America, the same at the time. How did humanity get like this? Civilization made humanity like this. Civilization created PDF files and normalized it. It's doing it right now. There's a book that goes even deeper into all this and how civilization changed humanity. I already told you all about it. It's called FFFHAMS, Food, Forest, Foraging, Hunting, Anti-Fragile Modern Society. The link is at the top of the page. Go get it. Or it's pinned in the comments. You have no idea. This is one of the saddest stories I'll ever hear about a girl. Do you know who this is? Do you know what happened to her? Comment below if you know who she is. Don't cheat. She is the youngest confirmed mother in history, having given birth through C-section at the age of 5 years, 7 months, and 21 days in 1939. Her case remains one of the most shocking and horrifying cases in history. Her name is Lena Medina. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to tell you this is unnatural. 1 of every 10,000 girls will have puberty around that time. But in most places, it's much earlier, but still far too soon. United States, 12 years old. United Kingdom, 12 years old. France, it went from 16 years old in 1750 to 12 years old in 1994. In the 19th century, the average was 14 to 15 years old. In the mid-20th century, that fell all the way down to 13 years old. And then by 1995, 12 years old. This is in America. And then by 2013 to 2017, it went to 11. Some of y'all might be thinking, what if this is natural? It's not. Hunter-gatherers, they typically have them around 17, sometimes late 16, sometimes early 18, but sometimes up to 20 is when they get their first cycle. 20. This is because of their lifestyle, high physical activity, lower body fat, and a diet rich with natural foods. Turns out to be good for the body. And all the chemicals they put in y'all foods, turns out is bad. If you want to go even deeper into this knowledge on how civilization destroyed humanity, make sure you get that book, FFFHAMS. It's in the link at the top of the page, or it's pinned in the comments. How did civilization create PDF files? That's the question y'all want me to get at. And I kind of already explained it, but I'll go further. You never wondered why we're weaker, sicker, and hitting puberty earlier and earlier? The Bible calls it a curse. You see, 10,000 years ago, we were what you could call the image of God, or the image of the gods. Foragers, lean, strong, thriving. Then agriculture came. Boom. The curse of agriculture chained us to farm, and it pumped us full with grains, sugar, leaving us with malnutrition. Civilization is a spirit, a matrix system that grows us up just to feed on us. Cities cram us together, spreading diseases, stunting our growth. In the Industrial Revolution, that's when it really got us. Processed foods, right? Chemicals, increased labor. Our bodies got hijacked. Puberty hitting earlier. Not because we're evolving, because we're being primed for the machine. For the devourer. Wake up. You are a battery pack for the machine. You're living outside of what the Bible calls the Garden of Eden. Outside of what the Greeks call the Golden Age. Outside of what the scientists call your natural habitat. Now you have girls having their cycles when they should be having their cycles as women. When they're fully matured, like any other organism on the planet. This is what breeds the climate for PDF files. I'm about to go even deeper, but if you want something that can go even deeper than that, go and get that book, FFFHAMS, Food Forest, Foraging, Hunting, Anti-Fragile Modern Society. The link is at the top of the page or pinned in the comments, depending on when you're watching. Wake up. Civilization is breeding PDF files. Civilization is a spirit. It's a devouring mother. It rewrites our biology. It gaslights us into confusion. Once puberty was a part of nature's clock, hitting it at about 17, 18, maybe 20. Society followed suit. Adulthood, marriage, responsibility, they all aligned. But then agriculture, then the Industrial Revolution warped us with chemicals, processed food. Puberty starts hitting sooner, 12, 11, 10, while the mind and the rest of the body still a child. So the non-hunter-gatherer societies, they scrambled. Some citing the old rule. She bleeds, she's ready. Discuss something you think about. So making it legal for 13, 14, 16, 15, like just throwing out numbers. Religious laws? You mean the ones that imply menstruation equal adulthood? In the context of civilization, that law just doesn't work. Because like any organism outside of its natural habitat, their body's expectations are not met, creating dramatic consequences. In other words, the natural law of maturity and cycles no longer align because of the matrix we call civilization. Now the old system breaks, and the predators, they thrive in the cracks. Epstein, the church, child marriage, all were justified with rules that no longer made sense. And there's another issue this creates that most don't even know about. If you want to even deeper dive into all of this, remember that book called FFFHAMS, go get it, the free audiobook. It's going to show you all this and break you free. It's either pinned in the comment or the link is at the top of the page. You have no idea. Do you know who she is? If you think you know who she is, go ahead and write in the comments below because this is pretty crazy. So I'm going to give her stats. She's an African-American woman whose cancer cells were taken without her knowledge. She became the first immortal human cell line, so her cells were immortal. They kept going after she died. Today they call them HeLa cells or HeLa cells. These cells have been critical for cancer research, and they would go nowhere without these cells. But she never gave her consent for this research. Her family was never informed, and all the hundreds of millions of dollars that the medical companies made, the family never saw it after she passed. Her name is Henrietta Lacks. You see, breast cancer, one of civilization's many gifts, and yet no one asks why it's skyrocketing. Let me tell you why. There's many reasons, but puberty and not breastfeeding. Two things civilization engineered. Remember, civilization is like a zoo. It is not your natural habitat. Your body has expectations. If they're not filled, there will be consequences. Before industrialization, girls hit puberty around 17. Natural timing, right? Right and balanced. Now 10, 11, 12, that's years of extra estrogen. That alone cranks breast cancer risk up 20%. And breastfeeding, that's nature's reset, a hormonal cleanse, but civilization made it inconvenient and abnormal. There was an entire campaign to get mothers to stop breastfeeding. And then the workforce made it nearly impossible. Women who don't breastfeed are 50% higher risk of aggressive breast cancer. Now let's step back. Who profits? Big pharma, hospitals, the cancer industry? They create the problem, or at least have knowledge on how to stop it. Then they create a fake subscription-based cure. And why? Because civilization, this devouring mother, is out of sync with biology. Had we stayed hunter-gatherers, none of this would exist. Again, if you want a deeper dive, go get that book, FFFHAMS. It gives you all of this, and it's a free audiobook on why civilization is not what you think. It's either pinned in the comments or in the link at the top of the page. You have no idea. What if I told you you could escape 9-to-5 jobs, mortgages, and debt? Imagine a community where food forests replaces grocery stores, foraging and hunting sustain you, and you grow anti-fragile, thriving in entropy, where technology still exists but is good for you and humanity. This book is called Food, Forest, Foraging, Hunting, Anti-Fragile Modern Society, FFFHAMS. It is your way out of this matrix. You do not have to live this life. You do not have to live 9-to-5s. Civilization literally creates PDF files. It creates this workforce, working 9-to-5s, mortgage, debt, slavery, all these things that we don't like about the world. That's from civilization. Decreasing biodiversity, all of it. Unhealthiness, fat growth, all of that is from that. We can escape it right now. We can create a system. The link for this book is at the top of the page or pinned in the comments. I love you all. Peace.